I lived in an underground bunker for 7 years because my father said the world ended. I was 11 years old when he shook me awake at 3 a.m., screaming that it was finally happening. He dragged me out of bed, grabbed my mother, and rushed us down to the bunker he'd spent my entire childhood building. The last thing I saw before he sealed the door was our kitchen with dishes still in the sink from dinner. My whole childhood, my father had been a prepper obsessed with the coming collapse. He stockpiled food, built the bunker with his own hands, and made us run drills every month. My mother believed every word he said because she loved him, and he was so certain, so absolutely convinced that the end was near. The night we went underground, he told us the bombs had finally dropped. He said the radiation was spreading and everyone above ground was either dead or dying. My mother sobbed and held me and kept saying we were so lucky that Daddy had prepared for this, that we were going to survive when everyone else was gone. The bunker was tiny, just 3 rooms with no windows and fluorescent lights that buzzed constantly. My father controlled everything down there, including when we woke up, when we slept, what we ate, and what we were allowed to read. He held survival meetings every morning where he reminded us what was happening above. The cities are gone, the water is poisoned, anyone still alive up there has turned desperate and dangerous, and they would kill us for what we have. My mother would nod along and take notes like every word was gospel. Years passed while I turned 12, then 13, then 14, 15, 16, 17, no sunlight, no fresh air, no contact with any other human being. My father said the radiation would take decades to clear. My mother started getting sick around year 5, growing weak and pale, but we had no real medicine. I begged him to go outside and look for supplies, and he screamed at me so loud his voice echoed off the walls. "You want to kill us? One breath of that air and we're dead." My mother said, "He's keeping us safe, sweetheart. Don't question your father." Then one afternoon when I was 17, I heard something above us. Voices, maybe machinery, something that definitely wasn't the dead silence we'd lived with for 7 years. I told my father and he said I was imagining things, going stir crazy. I heard it again the next day. Definitely voices, definitely laughter. I told my mother and she looked scared and said we shouldn't talk about it. A week later, someone started pounding on the bunker hatch. My father went white and herded us into the back room. He whispered that it was raiders, feral survivors who'd kill us for our supplies, and we had to stay silent until they gave up. The pounding continued for almost an hour before it stopped. That night, I waited until my parents were asleep and crept to the hatch. My father had told me 1,000 times that opening it meant instant death, that the air outside would burn my lungs. I put my hand on the wheel and turned it anyway. The seal broke and I pushed the hatch open and climbed out into the night. Cool air hit my face, real air, and I stood there waiting to die. Nothing happened. I looked up and saw stars for the first time in 7 years. I saw streetlights glowing in the distance and the unmistakable outline of a town. I walked toward the lights until I reached a gas station with a teenager behind the counter looking at his phone. I walked in and he glanced up and said, "Can I help you?" I asked him what year it was and he told me, 7 years. I asked him what happened to the cities and he stared at me like I was crazy. I asked about the bombs, the radiation, the collapse. He said, "Lady, are you okay? Do you need me to call someone?" I started crying and couldn't stop. The police came and I told them everything. They found my parents at dawn with my father trying to seal the hatch from inside and my mother hysterical. The officers told me there were never any bombs and there was never any radiation. The night my father took us underground, the only thing on the news was a story about a warehouse fire. It was just a normal Tuesday, and my father had stolen 7 years of our lives for nothing. My mother came out of that bunker, saw the cars driving past and the birds singing in the trees, and collapsed. She'd believed every word for 7 years, and now she was staring at my father like she'd never seen him before. He kept screaming that he was protecting us, that we would have died without him, that the collapse was still coming and everyone would see. The officers put him in handcuffs while he yelled that we were all going to die, that he was the only one who understood. My father is in a psychiatric facility now. My mother visits him every week, which I don't understand, but I've stopped trying to.